Hello there. Welcome to Anybody Can Code C++ series. So if you're new to this series, you can click on the card that's above to check out our previous videos. Hey there, welcome back to the ABC series of C++ from Facebook. So in the last episode, you had seen that we had used certain loops and we had done a lot of operation based on loops. And in the end, we had written a program, a small piece of code to find out the power of 2. Right. So no matter what we did, we had to write a lot of lines of codes, at least 3 or 4 lines of codes to find the power of number 2 or any number in that presence, right? So I had also told you that there are default or predefined functions in C++ related to certain header files, which will automatically do this for us, and we do not have to manually write a code for this, right? So in this episode, we'll see a lot of predefined functions. But out there, guys, we have got a lot of library functions or directories which lead to the libraries and the methods inside it or the functions inside it. There are lots, right? So, but here I'll be discussing only a few, which is important for you when it comes to day-to-day and basic coding like programs, right? So, the first header file what we've got over here is CMark. Okay, so as the name says, we have got a lot of mathematical functions involved in this particular header file. So let's say we have something called as power. So just like what we had done in the last episode, trying to find out the power of 2. Okay, if we want to find out power of any number, 2 to the power 3 or 2 to the power anything, we can do it with the help of this particular method or function, right? And next up, what we have is absolute. So a lot of times what happens is we would not want to get a negative answer, but still we end up getting that. So if you use this particular function, so even if you get a negative answer, it will automatically get converted into a positive. That is the absolute value of those two numbers, and you'll get the output. And next thing what I have is a square root. So sqrt is the short form of this particular function. So sqrt means square root of any particular number, be it a perfectly a perfect square number or any other square number as well. You'll be able to find the square root of it using this particular function, right? So let me just display this and tell you how it works. So here I'll just do certain changes, guys. So as I told, I would require this particular header file, right? So I would need CMark. So I'll just write that particular header file over here. So hash include CMark. So after I've written this particular header file, whatever I want to do, the operations I can do it. Okay, for example, let's start with the power function. So I want to find the power of 2 raised to the 2 raised to 3. Okay, so 2 raised to 3, let's see what I'll get the answer as. Okay, I'm getting it as 8. You can see it over here, right? So I can, check any particular number, let's say 9 raised to 3. Let's just run this particular code. Okay, so I'm getting the answer as 729. So this is basically, that particular function which gives you the power of any number. So if you want to do it in the other way also, so let's say A, you're taking it as 8 and B, you're taking it as let's say 4. Okay, and you want to find the power of B raised to the power 8. Okay, 4 raised to the power 8. Okay, let's just check what exactly the numbers are. Okay, so it says semicolon missing. Yeah. So let's see what the numbers are over here. 4 raised to the power 8. Normally, yeah, it's giving the answer. So sometimes what happens is if you raise the power too much, okay, the number will be very huge. So you might have to change the data type to double or long int or whatever it is. But usual smaller numbers, the smaller powers will work in this sorts. So let's go for the other one, guys. So the next part what we had is absolute, right? So let's just try to do that learn over here. So ABS is the short form for absolute function. So let's say you want to find out, what is 6 minus 7. So obviously 6 minus 7 is 1. So 1 will be displayed. So let's see what it displays. Yeah, 1 is displayed. So if you want to do this as, okay, 7 minus 6. Okay, 7 minus 6, what it gets displayed? 1. So I can say here in the previous case, I had written 6 minus 7. Okay, but I had got it as 1. Okay, in the next case, I had written it as 7 minus 6, I had got it as 1. Whereas 6 minus 7, it is actually supposed to be minus 1. So let me just try to remove this ABS and now try to print. Let's see what it gives us over here. So it's giving a minus one, so, right? So any difference or any operation which will end up with a negative value, if you want to convert it into its absolute number, so you can use this particular function called as ABS, which is there in CMark header file. And the last step what we have is SQRT, right? So let's just change this name over here. So SQRT means square root, right? So let's try to find the square root of the perfect squares first. So 8 square is 64. So let's just try to find the square root of 64 first, because we already know the answer, right? So it is supposed to give the answer as 8 and it is giving 8. Okay, and let's try one more. 4 square is 16. So let's just try to find the answer if it gives a 4 or not. So it's giving 4. But not only this, guys, let's say you want to find the square root of 3. Okay, 3 is not a perfect square number, but let's say you want to find out the square root of it. So can we do this? Yes, we can do it. And it is giving us the answer as 1.73205. So it is giving the floating format. Right, so you can do a lot of experimentation on this, guys, and a lot of simple codes will be asked on this. For example, let's say find the other side of the right angle triangle, or find if they are Pythagorean triplets. Okay, like, a lot of simple codes will be asked where the square root function will be required for you to use. Right. So these are the things which are present in CMark. Okay, now let's go for the next header file. What I've got. So the next header file or the library functions are present in a header file or the directory called as CString. Okay, so as the name says, it is something related to strings, right? So I've taken three important functions over here. So the first one is strlen, that is basically string length. Second thing is strcmp, called as string compare, and strncmp. Okay, so there's a small difference between strcmp and strncmp. So let's just have a look at it, guys. So the header file is C string, right? So let's just try to change it over here, C string. And then what I'll do is I'll take the first function. So the first function was strlen, right? So strlen of string, let's say I'll give it as face prep. Okay, so let's just try to run this particular code. Let's see what happens. Okay, so basically I've got 8 characters here, FACE 4 and then PREP 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. That is saying the string length is 8. That's it. And so you can give any a string over here. Let's say QWERTY. Okay, I'm just typing random alphabets over there. So QWERTY has 6 alphabets included in this string, and it is giving 6, right? So let's say you want to do it in terms of a separate variable format. So how do you take a string? So this is one way of taking a string. So let's say I take it as a face prep over here, and instead of directly writing face prep inside this particular function, I'll just give it a. So this face prep string is stored inside a, and I'm trying to understand what is the length of that particular string, right? So let's see. The previously we had got the answer as 8, even now we're getting it as 8. That's it, right? So this is the use of strlen, guys. And next up, what we have is strcmp, that is string compare. So here what we're doing is we're just trying to compare certain strings. Okay, let's say I've taken 2 strings over here. The first string is face prep and the second string is face pulse. Okay, so here obviously we know that the strings are not same. So if the strings are not same, let's see what answer it will give us. Yeah, you can see it gives an answer which is not equal to 0. Okay, so basically what it tries to do is it tries to match each and every character. So F with F of this particular string, A with A of the next string. Okay, so it tries to match all the characters of the second string with the first string. And if they match, they do not do anything. If they do not match, the number of differences between those ASCII values, okay, that it will start printing over there. Okay, and as soon as it finds a mismatch, okay, so here the mismatch would be basically R and U. Okay, so FACE till P it is correct, and R you have got different, U you have got different, right? So it starts calculating from there. Okay, and if it finds a mismatch, it will just give out the things which are negative or positive accordingly. So instead of doing this, let's try to understand in a simpler way. So since it is a string, okay, let's try to compare capital A and a small a. Okay, let's try to understand what it says. So basically, they're not same, right? So it gives -1, which means that this is a lower character, and I'm trying to compare a lower character with a higher character. Okay, so capital A has a lower ASCII value, and smaller a has a higher ASCII value, right? So that is giving a negative answer. Now, let's say I am trying to compare small a with capital A. Now, what happens? Capital A obviously has a higher value and the small a has a low value, so it gives a positive number, which is not a zero. But let's say I've got similar strings, right? So I've got small a and small a, then it will give me a zero because it says that there is no mismatch and all the characters match and there is no mismatch, and that is why it's giving a zero there. So I'll show you the same example over here. So instead of pulse, I'll just type prep and a comma b. Okay, so all the characters match over there. So let's see what is the answer, what we'll be getting now. So it is giving us a zero. So that is basically how string compare works, guys. I hope you have understood. And the difference between string compare and string n compare is here we are doing a match between all the characters, right? So all the characters present in the string of A, we are comparing it with all the characters present in the string B. Okay, and if there is any slight mismatch, also we are printing it accordingly if it is positive, negative, or zero. But here, string n compare, we have to give certain parameters. Let's say first four characters I want to match. Okay, so first four characters, are they matching of A and B is what I'm checking over here. So it says yes, it matches. Okay, now let me just try to change this into pulse again. Let me just try to change it into ABCD. Okay, so you can see here face. Okay, first four characters they absolutely match, and after that the fifth character it is A and P over here. Now let's just try to run this and check what exactly happens. Okay, so ultimately it is still giving us a zero because string n compare only checks n characters what we are asking it to check. Okay, so we are asking it to check the first four characters of both the string, so it does not check the other part, right? So that is how string n compare works. Right? So I hope you have understood, guys. There are a lot of other string manipulation functions. You can experiment a lot based on that, and it will definitely help you in a lot of other codes. Okay, so the next directory or header file what we have is CCType. Okay, this basically deals with all the characters specifically, right? So I've taken three different functions over here. So two upper, two lower, and is upper. Okay, then there's is lower also. I'm not just taken it. So two upper, two lower, how they work is you just have to write this particular function. But first, let me change the header file over here. So it is CCType, right? So let me just change it to CCType, and then I'll put this into comments. Okay, we do not want this now. So that is done, and then to upper. As I told, we're working with characters now, right? So I'll just give a character A. Okay, so to upper, how it works is it will convert the alphabet into upper or higher case, but it gives the ASCII value of it. Okay, so if you want the actual character, you'll have to typecast it. Because I believe you still remember what typecasting is. If you do not remember, please go and watch the video on typecasting. We'll have a better understanding. Right. So here once I've converted the ASCII value or the integer value that is coming from to upper, it is giving me the capital value A. Okay, so let's say I do not write this. Okay, I do not write this and I run it. I'll be getting a value 65, and 65 is nothing but the ASCII value of A. Okay, so that is why I'm just writing the typecasting over here. So let's say I want to convert F. Okay, small letter F. I'm just running it. Okay, I'm supposed to get a capital F. Okay, I'm getting a capital F. Let's say I want to convert percentage. Let's see if it converts percentage. Okay, because percentage is not in the English alphabet, right? So A to Z, anything to upper lower, we can convert it accordingly, but we cannot do it with respect to special characters. So to lower is also the same thing. So let's say I have capital A. So I want to convert it to small a. I'll just typecast it over here, char, to lower, and whatever you want to give. you can get the lower version of it. Okay, so let's say I want to convert capital Z and I just run this particular code. Let's see what I get. We'll be getting small letters. You cannot see a lot of difference because capital and small Z are same. Okay, so that's basically how it is done, guys. And the last step, what I had is, E is lower if I'm not wrong. Yeah, E is upper. We also have E is lower. If you want, you can check it out. Just trying to run this. Okay, so E is upper. Okay, so E is upper as the name says. It just checks if the character is upper or not. Okay, so you do not have to do any typecasting over here. If the character is uppercase, it will automatically say that it is uppercase. So how does it say it is uppercase? It will give us a true value. Okay, true value as in 1. Okay, or any other positive number. Okay, so let's say I give a smaller character, say small f. So I've given small f over here. I'm asking to print if it is upper. So it is giving a 0. So if you remember, I told you anything apart from a literal 0, it means true, right? So here if it is 0, it means false. So if it is false, what is it? It is not a upper. So these are the things what we had seen, guys. So very very important functions can be understood using various header files and directories. So please make sure whenever it is important to use functions, certain predefined functions, please do use it because it will make your code very efficient, and a lot of lines of code can be reduced. So these are the things what we can do. So these are the functions, right? So I told you these are predefined functions, but can we write a function of our own, right? So these are things which the coders have already written. So if we want to write our own functions, can we do it? Yes, we can definitely do it. So in the next episode, I'll be telling you how to write our own functions. So till then, do experiment on all these header files. Okay, practice.
Hope you liked the video. Do not forget to subscribe and do click on the bell icon so that you get notified when the further videos are released. And also check out our Instagram page and WhatsApp broadcast services. The links are in the description below.